Hello, informally. I'm not on my desk. I don't have anything set up. I'm just chilling in probably not the most appropriate hoodie, but laundry day, what can you do? So I recently watched a lot of videos, not just one, but I think 10 from both furries and non-furries, kind of explaining why they left YouTube. And I feel like some of the reasons that I slowed down on YouTube are related to furry and some aren't. So I just wanted to give my 2 cents on why I slowed down. I haven't left, I'm still gonna be making content. It's just gonna be a lot less than you're generally used to from some of your faves. Why? Well, let's kind of get into that. I haven't scripted this. This is off the cuff. Whoever has to edit this, I am so sorry. But yeah, reasons I slowed down. So one of the initial reasons when I slowed down for the first time was I was going through a really god-awful breakup, and mentally I wasn't good. A couple of my videos, you could probably tell that. In some of my old videos, you could hear dishes clattering. You could hear noise coming through everywhere, and that was my partner basically disrespecting me while I was trying to do a hobby that I really enjoyed. At that time I had a job. I didn't need YouTube for money. I did it for fun, which I kind of wish I could still do, but we'll get into that. The second time, which you probably remember because it's the most recent, I moved. So I had to slow down because I was moving. I didn't have the time to dedicate to scripting, editing, doing research, hiring an editor because my computer can't handle editing software. Mac I'm using was one I got from my company and was allowed to keep, but it's not really spec'd out to do anything. And Lord knows it crashes every time I run any editing program. So like at some point, I made a conscious decision, instead of putting out shitty videos, which is what I was doing, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. My videos were trash for a really long time, and the fact you guys even watched them is amazing. Thank you, because they were edited so badly. And my PC, she's trying. I am planning to get a new PC. It will not be used for editing. I made the decision a while back to, instead of try to manually fix all my stuff myself, I would rather pay an editor and support someone in the community who has those skills, especially with everything going on right now. If I have the means to pay someone to do a better job than I could, I would rather you guys get high quality content, and I would rather support someone in the community that, you know, could use it instead of me bumbling around through Final Cut or whatever other program might run on my computer without pooping its brains out. But I made that decision a long time ago. So how does that factor into videos now? Well, when I initially made the switch to an editor, I didn't really have a problem with like paying. It wasn't an issue until COVID hit. And then I had to weigh in my mind, like, okay, I'm putting down X amount of money on an editor, and, you know, I have this expectation of like roughly how the video will do. You know, it won't pay itself off. God knows none of my videos have, except for maybe the Parents of Furries one, and that one looks like hot garbage. But you know, like I'm gonna try to like be reasonable with it. Like, okay, I'm not gonna be dunking money on videos every week. That's not sustainable, especially after I lost my job. So that's one of the reasons. Another was kind of, I don't know, some of the videos I saw doing really well, and this is no shade to other, you know, YouTubers, whether they be furry or not. Some of the videos I saw succeeding were just things I didn't want to make. Not because they were bad, it's just, why would I do something someone else has done better, I guess is the reason. Like, why would I go and recreate this person's video that's already doing really well when it's not my idea and it's not, frankly, not my content. So I made the decision at that time that I really wanted to make videos that I liked. Previously, when I lost my job the first time, I was pumping out videos that I thought would do well. I didn't even check if they were edited well. I didn't do my audio correctly. I was just trying to churn out content like a machine and hoping that something would do well and pay my bills that month. I would also stream a whole bunch on YouTube and just hope to God that, you know, maybe I'd get some donations in. It was like not a great time. Some people gave me flack because I did buy a fursuit right before I lost my job. And a lot of people told me to sell it. And, you know, I was like, well, I want to see if I can make it. And thank God I got another job. So before I got to the point where I had to sell it, it was fine. The second time I got caught flack is I ordered a commission and then lost my job again. And I was like, oh shit. So I kind of like started heavy budgeting. I sold a shitload of stuff in my apartment. I sold like half the things in my apartment, I think, because I didn't want to have to refund the maker because it was literally like one of their first commissioned fursuits. And I was like, oh my God, let me not do this to a brand new maker. That would be a really shitty thing to do. And, you know, I asked politely on Twitter, would it be okay if I streamed for this specific purpose? And people on Twitter were fine with it, and I still caught flack anyway, so, you know. But one of the like really big reasons, and I think it's a reason that a lot of content creators are feeling right now, is YouTube's not working. Like, I watched Blu the Dragon's video, I've watched several other videos, and I'm by no means an OG in this community, and I'm absolutely not a big creator. I am tiny, like drop in the pond compared to some of the people that do this full time and can sustain it. I ain't there. I'm too small. So like, know that when I'm saying this, I'm not just like pontificating. I'm actually like taking what I've heard from other people and kind of agreeing with it. The YouTube algorithm has been shit. It's been hot garbage. Videos that are doing well sometimes are really well done, fully scripted, fully edited productions, and sometimes they're just TikTok compilations. And that kind of makes me sad because I know there's a bunch of creators out there putting hours, if not weeks, into editing really nice content, and it just kind of goes, and that's what some of my content was doing. And I didn't understand because, you know, like in my basic brain, I was like, well, I think my biggest issue was my editing was shit. So if I get a new editor, that should help. It didn't. Or, okay, one of my big issues is I wasn't scripting videos. I'm going to make an honest effort to script every video I do. That didn't really help either. And I was like, okay, I need to make a series. A series would be really interesting. So I started Furries After Dark, and the first couple of videos did well. And then I had to move, and a lot of my stuff started getting like backed up, and I was like, oh, Jesus. And lately they're not doing so great. They're not performing well. So I kind of like took a hard look at YouTube, and the first time I went to Twitch was because someone donated a copyrighted song and I got banned for 3 months for streaming. So I started doing Twitch, and the first thing I noticed is the payout is a whole lot better. The community that comes to watch my Twitch streams actually gives a shit about the game I'm playing, which a lot of my YouTube audience doesn't. And there were much better ways to engage with your audience. You could do like community challenges, bits, subscriptions. You could have a bot in your chat. I know you can technically have that on YouTube as well. It's just literally never worked for me. And I noticed that like the interactions I was getting were kind of better. Not like saying anyone who's ever commented on my YouTube stream has been bad, but instead of just asking, who made your fursuit? Who made your fursuit? How long you been a furry? How long you been a furry? Over and over and over, it would be people asking, oh, what game is this? Oh, are you a healing main? Oh, like, what's your favorite character? Like, in the game. Like, actually watching what I was doing and processing it, as opposed to suit. And I'll be honest, like, streaming in suit for that many hours was starting to wear me down. I'm not young by any means. I am 31 years old. I started to overheat a little bit. So I kind of like looked at my options, and I'll be honest with you guys, I'll tell you my numbers. I don't give a shit. I was making between Patreon and AdSense, because my Patreon is more oriented towards YouTube, $50, which is not bad. But when I lost my job, $50 doesn't really pay the rent. Versus my Twitch was pulling in about $300 a month. And when you look at it that way, if I didn't have a Patreon, I'd be making $2 a month. Which, like, when I started, I wouldn't have cared. Like, it was a hobby. It was something I did for fun. But when, you know, COVID torpedoed my entire industry, I had to start looking at numbers. I was about to move into a brand new place, which, by the way, moving also costs money. I don't know if you knew. If you don't own a car, which I don't, it does actually cost money to move. I had to like factor all that in, and it was just like, Well, if I have to spend more time on something, logically I'm gonna spend more time on the thing that seems to be working, and for me that was Twitch. I mean, I've heard some people, throw blows at the furry YouTuber community, and like, as much as I want to say, no, we're all perfect and great and everything is fine, there's some bad eggs. I won't lie. Not gonna name any names here, but that wasn't really a part of my decision. A long time ago when I started doing this, I kind of knew that I wasn't going to be like top dog in YouTube, like remotely. I'm a female. I don't pump out videos every week because I frankly can't, and I started too late, so fair enough. I mean, if you're looking for like cute, sassy, female, furry content creator, there's already plenty of people who've already like blazed that trail. I am nothing new and nothing special, so it's kind of like, yeah, I'm probably not gonna be that big, whatever. But when it came down to like, oh, I'm doing this for fun, and it transitioned to, oh shit, this has to actually pay my bills until I can figure something out, it changes how you view YouTube and other platforms. Some people have been like, why didn't you go to TikTok? I had a really nasty experience with TikTok, not as a user. I had it in another capacity, so I will never touch that platform. And, people have basically said like, why don't you just try something else? I did singing, didn't really work. I've applied for 400 jobs this month alone. It didn't really work, haven't gotten any calls. I've applied for jobs that I'm hilariously underqualified for. Nothing. I've applied for jobs that I'm hilariously overqualified for. Nothing. And I've applied for, basic jobs, and right now, they're not. No one's hiring anyone right now at all in my industry or otherwise that I've looked into, and I've looked into a lot. But like, I've seen a lot of people be like, why I left YouTube, or like, why you don't see as much content. A huge reason is YouTube's just not working for a lot of us, which sucks. Like, even the biggest creators are slowing down. Like, a lot of them are. And a big reason is the algorithm keeps changing. Adpocalypses keep coming left and right, which is really annoying. If you don't know what those are, it's every time someone does something really stupid with ads and ends up changing how monetization works on YouTube, which is really annoying. Or, in some cases, furry content creators are like heavily stifled, because if I could tell you why, I certainly would, but for some reason, I guess we are deemed like inappropriate. Then again, I made a YouTube series on like educational content about kinks in the community. So naturally, I am definitely going to get demonetized, but I think those videos are important to have because I don't really see anyone else making them. So like, that's the one niche I can fill that I'm, proud of and I like, and it's just getting like swatted down. Like, they're all monetized. I don't know how. They're all monetized, but the circulation of them is pretty, which makes sense. But some of my other videos are also getting like completely derailed. Look, I'm not gonna be like, I want 1 million views. Like, that's unrealistic. But when you see your averages go from like a humble 2,000 views to oh dear God, 300 views, you're like, uh-oh. And I've seen that happen recently. Like, some of mine have done like okay, and some of them have like seriously tanked. And some of the content I want to make, I don't know if it would succeed here. Like, I have a Final Fantasy X playthrough best clips video planned of all like the uh-ohs, the oops, the oh shits, and like the emotional moments in the game. Most of them, by the way, were clipped by viewers. And I'm really excited for that, but I don't know if you guys would be. And I think that's kind of why YouTube is kind of like a struggle for me right now, is there's a lot of stuff I'm really passionate about and I would love to put out, and I just don't think anyone wants to see it right now. Unless it's like my favorite 10 fursuits, or furry TikTok compilation, or furry reacts to furry cringe, because that's the new trend. It just feels like no one cares, which sucks. The other one I have planned is like funniest moments from my Final Fantasy XIV wedding. Yeah, I got married in a video game. Vows were great, and I think that would be really cool and funny, because like, I love that game, and I spend a lot of time in that game now on Twitch, but I don't know how it would do, and that kind of is a bummer. Sorry, this is very ranty. I didn't script any of this, but yeah, like that's kind of like where my struggle has been. In terms of other YouTubers, I haven't had like that many negative interactions. I've had some for sure. There've been some where I'm just like, why do you have a channel? But it's not a lot, and that really didn't influence my decision that much. I mean, I've definitely had some frustration when I see a video come out that doesn't seem like it would be very interesting, and it just skyrockets because of who made it. But like, I can't really be mad at that. Some of these people who have this success like have built it up longer than I have, or they have that community built. So like, yeah, that video is gonna get like 30,000 views just because your face is in it. Like, fair enough. And like, I saw one video about like why someone left the furry YouTube community specifically, and some of the points like did resonate. Not all of them, but some of them. I've never really had an issue of like walking around a con and like being recognized because I don't show my face. So like, that was kind of how I combat some of the issues that people have had. It's like, I've never had that issue out of suit ever because I don't show my face. It's like, that wasn't much of an issue. But collabing, yeah, one of the things you'll notice on my channel is there aren't a lot of collaborations because, as a rule to myself, I don't do collabs unless they make sense. Like, I'm not just gonna call up Majira and be like, hey buddy, let's do a video on how much you like Skittles, because why? If anything, if I'm gonna like call up someone, it'll be like, hey, you like this, I like this. Wouldn't it be rad if we did a collab about the thing we're both actually passionate about? As opposed to, we read off our favorite fursuits 1 through 10, like every other YouTuber you've ever seen. That to me is boring. I can make that by myself, and having another face there doesn't add anything, in my opinion, when it's already been done like 50 times. The kind of content I want to make is making fun of cryptids, making fun of the Masked Singer, hilarious highlights from my 14 wedding, education on kinks in the community that I kind of wish I had known before I joined, and didn't have to fucking Google when I joined when people would throw terms out that I didn't understand. That kind of content excites me. But I don't know if it excites you guys, which sucks, because every time I go to make a video, I have like this anxiety of like, does anyone actually want to see this? So like, that's kind of been my hurdle, and that's kind of why Twitch has been more comfortable, because I don't have to worry as much, because I do know that people who are there watching the games I play, mostly Final Fantasy 14, actually like love the game and are really excited to see the game. And I'm on Team Underdog, one of the original founders, and now that we're officially a Twitch team, yes, a real Twitch team, I have a whole team of awesome people that sometimes come through streams. I'll go to their streams, I'll raid into them, they'll raid into... It's a much friendlier group than some of the shit I've seen on furry YouTube. Like, there's not animosity all over the place on furry YouTube, but there's also no raid function on YouTube streaming. So there have been times when I've wanted to try to send people from my channel over to someone else, and they just don't go, which feels really shitty. Or there have been times where I've seen someone try to send people to me, and because I'm not the person they just came from, they're like, oh, you're a girl.
Hi.
Or, oh, you're not this fursuiter.
Hi.
Oh, you're not one of these, like, popular fursuiters. And I'm just like, that feels really shitty. And the funniest part is some people won't even, like, sugarcoat it. Like, I've had people come into YouTube streams and ask, oh, is this person live? And it's just like, oh my god, no, I'm not so-and-so's personal secretary. What are you doing? That's so rude. I don't know, man. Like, I can understand why some people are leaving YouTube behind, you know, the ones that aren't canceled, like the other reasons, because it's not really working for a lot of people in our community, and for those that it is working for, it is like a fucking miracle. And please go get that bag, because a lot of us aren't, and if someone is, yo, go get it. Like, I'm proud of you. That's kind of like a rambly, bad explanation for why I slowed down on YouTube, and why you'll see me more on Twitch every Thursday through Sunday, 2 p.m. till who knows, whenever I fall asleep. But yeah, I hope this answers some questions. I've definitely outlined this on Twitter a lot, but I know not everyone follows my Twitter, so I want to do something more direct to you guys. You could like actually hear some of those reasons and some of the frustrations and some of the stuff I just haven't said on my channel. Like, I haven't really talked about, unless you've been on certain streams at certain hours, like I haven't really been talking about like how annoying or frustrating it is to be in a stream and have someone ask, oh my god, do you know Majira? Like, yeah, I do. What does that have to do with what we're talking about in stream? Or the better one, like, okay, I'm gonna go watch this person now. Like, pro tip, don't do that, it's rude. Or like asking like, oh, I saw this creator do this, are you gonna do that? And it's like, I have enough anxiety trying to make videos as it is. Being compared to my peers feels really weird, and I don't like it. But yeah, like that's a big reason why I kind of backed off. I also noticed certain content wasn't working. I have observed that my music doesn't do really well, so I haven't been posting it anymore. I've noticed that gaming doesn't do really well, so I haven't done the gaming streams, because it doesn't seem like anyone cares unless you see this. And that's kind of shitty. Not blaming you guys, I get it. Sometimes you just want your ooh cute fursuit, but like sometimes I just want to like chill and play a video game and, you know, hang out with you guys like I would my non-furry friends. And I don't know, this has been a rambly mess, but there you go. Hope you have a lovely week. Alright, bye.